What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it. I'm back at it. I'm back at it again. I'm back at it again, man. Listen, salutes to everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day and a wonderful time. You know, your boy had to. I know I've been, gone for a little bit. I've been living an amazing life. A lot of wonderful things. I'm enjoying myself. So I hope that everyone has been enjoying themselves as well. We're going to be having some discussions because I had to sit down with you folks and talk with y'all about this New York Jets football team. So we're going to be having some discussions. The lines are open. This team and everything that's going on with it is insane. This offseason so far has, at least for the New York Jets, the coaching search has really been a disaster. It's been a lot of things that I've been seeing, man, and we just got to have some discussion about it. So let me go ahead and get into it. Salutes to everybody watching. Please give it a thumbs up. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. All right? I truly do. All right? You know, I know, like I said, I know I've been gone for a little bit. We're going to get frequent episodes going. Your boy has been living amazing. Okay? Amazing. Listen, I'm on Twitter as well, for those of you that do not know, okay? I'm on Twitter, all right? Let me tell you something. Going over to Twitter, type in @The Long Beach Joe, @The Long Beach Joe on Twitter, okay? Listen, man. People want to argue with me about Aaron Glenn. That's part of the reason, I'm definitely here to have these discussions today about this Jets coaching staff and what's been going on. Listen, man, you want to argue with me? No problem, because I will go back and forth with everyone about the fact that I believe he should have been fired this season. But we're going to get into that, okay? So if you get in my DMs, you want to yell at me, I will yell right back at you. @The Long Beach Joe, @The Long Beach Joe on Twitter, okay? Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. I love having great discussions. But if you don't want to have discussions, you just want to yell, then it is what it is. Okay? I'm also on YouTube, for those of you that do not know. Okay? Come on over to YouTube. All right? Type in @Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. All right? Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Okay? Hit that notification bell and click all so that you'll get my content when I go live and post content. I'll be posting more content as well. But keep in mind, when you come over here, all right, and we're live like we are today, okay, lines are open. Let me tell you something. When we go live and we talk, you got to deal with some people in the chat. I call them my savages. You want to know why? Because they're savage. They're savage. Nobody's safe, okay? Not even me, to keep it real with you. I'm not even safe. If they don't like what I say, they get at me, okay? And they'll get at you too. So don't get it confused. All right? Do not get it confused. Okay? Salutes to all the savages. I see y'all in the building. Christopher Phillips, good to see you in the building. He says, let's go. Todd salutes. Good to see you in the building as well. He says, howdy. Salutes. Venom G's, I see you in the building. He says, what's up, Joe? Luna salutes. He says, LBJ, your boy made it to the Super Bowl. Right choice, wrong team. Hey, we're going to be talking about that too. Listen, I told y'all, Sam Darnold is the real deal. You see where he's at, bro. You see where he's at. And a lot of that is, finding the right spot and getting in the right system with coaches that can build you. That's a big thing. Coaching is a big deal here. All right? But we'll be talking about that. Salutes to you, Luna. Todd says, I don't care who the coach or who is picked, just win. Yeah. I know people just want to win. I get it. I completely get it. All right. Again, lines are open, 805-885-0467. All right. Callers, just give me a second here. We're going to be having a discussion about what's going on. So Listen, man, I've been sitting back watching a lot of things with the New York Jets. Also, y'all watching, please let me know. Let me know if my audio and visual is clear. All right, if y'all can hear me, great. I've been sitting back watching everything that's been going on with the New York Jets. As y'all know, I love this football team. And recently within these weeks, it's just seemed like the New York Jets are a complete disaster. They're a disaster. And this is looking like a season that could get off the rails quickly. All right. I'm hoping that it doesn't. I'm hoping that the Jets can get it together. But the way that this coaching situation has gone on, the hiring situations, it's just been all over the place. All right. It started when Aaron Glenn basically cleared out his defensive staff and some of the guys on offense as well. He got rid of Charles London, our QB coach. He got rid of Scott Turner, with the passing game coordinator. Got rid of Eric Washington, who's our D-line coach. Aaron Curry, who's our linebackers coach. Coach Williams, who's our defensive assistant. Got rid of Escalante as well, which is another defensive assistant. I looked around, man, and I was kind of stunned. And I'm stunned because I remember Aaron Glenn talking that talk when it came to the coaches that he had selected to get in here with him. The staff that he had selected. He took time to find the right guys. Why is that important, ladies and gentlemen? It's important because he came in here knowing that the Jets were in a position where there was going to be, a rebuild, basically, right? There was going to need to be guys that were going to have to come in here and really kind of be able to push young players and help them grow and help them get better and help them succeed in the league and help them, get their talents ready to go. And to see him get rid of all these guys, I'm wondering what happened, because I think it was like a year ago that he was saying these things. And if you think that I'm not telling you the truth about Aaron Glenn talking about his search and how crazy it was and he left no stone unturned, I want you folks to listen to him say this. Here's the audio.
Listen, I think the most enjoyable thing was getting the coaching staff, because there's so many coaches out there that everybody wants you to get, and there are all these names. But I'm a huge believer in getting the guys that's right for the job, and right for the job for us. So listen, if the guys don't have all the big names that everybody wants, they are a hell of a coach. You can find them anywhere. Division II, guys high school, other coaches that are assistants of other teams. And that's what I did. And it took a while to do that. And I want to take a while because I want to make sure I get the right guys. And I said this before, compatibility is just as important as coachability, because you want guys that can actually coach together. And whatever my weak spots are, man, somebody can help me with those weak spots. And that's vice versa along the coaching staff. And I did everything I can to try to make sure I do that. And I think we have an outstanding coaching staff. They're going to do a hell of a job for us. And it's just like going to get players. I want guys going to help us be able to win, right? And that's what this coaching staff is going to do for us.
Now, as y'all just heard, okay, compatibility, finding guys that are going to be able to give his, wherever his weaknesses are, they're going to build because that's going to be their strengths, and all these things that you just told us, that you said when you first got in here. Now we see you basically blow out your whole staff. You've already got rid of your defensive coordinator, Wilkes. You got rid of him during season. Defense is terrible. And you're supposed to be the defensive guy. You already got rid of your defensive coordinator. Then you get rid of a bunch of other coaches. The immediate thought that came to my brain when I saw that he had gotten rid of so many assistant coaches after getting rid of the defensive coordinator, I said, hey, why don't the Jets just fire him? What is the point of allowing him to basically blow out his staff and get rid of a defensive coordinator and put together a whole nother staff? What kind of confidence would you have in him to do that? Why didn't you just fire him and let the other coach, the next coach, whoever it is, keep in mind, there's a lot of coaches that were available this year. There's a lot of guys that got fired that could have come in here and I believe could have really have made a mark, but we'll get into that in a second. Why allow Aaron Glenn to get another chance after the horrific year that the New York Jets have had? The Jets were literally one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the entire league. They were 3-14. We were getting blown out left and right. 29th overall offensively, 25th overall defensively. Keep in mind, Aaron Glenn was brought in here to better this New York Jets defense. I'm going back and forth with people constantly. Aaron Glenn should be fired. You don't let him blow out his staff and do this. Well, then all of a sudden, we get a news update about Tanner Engstrand, right? Jets offensive coordinator. He seems like he's the only damn guy left. Report comes out that the Jets are going to retain him, but his role is going to change as the Jets offensive coordinator. His role is going to change. His play calling responsibilities are not going to be his anymore. Structuring the offense is going to be different. It was expected to change. And then it was kind of made clear but unclear that his role was still going to kind of be defined as time went on. And immediately when I heard that, I thought to myself, boy, that sounds a lot like what the Jets did with Nathaniel Hackett. Anybody remember that guy? Anybody? Remember he was the Jets offensive coordinator last season, but he wasn't calling the plays. He was just around. And you had like Todd Downing and various other guys actually putting together game plans and doing things. Anybody remember that? Yeah. Same thing. Same thing. Right? And I'm like, hey, what the heck is going on? Because, yeah, the Jets offense hasn't been the greatest, but honestly, Tanner hasn't been that bad. The defense has been far worse, has been the biggest issue for the New York Jets. You go back to that first Steelers game, right, that the Jets played to open the season. The Jets offense literally won them that game. They were phenomenal. The defense still gave up a bunch of yards and points. Then time continued on. More reports come out that Tanner Engstrand has told people, period, hey, I'm not going to be calling plays at all. That's over. My role is very defined. I'm not going to be calling plays. It's a done deal. I don't anticipate on calling plays at all. They're going to bring someone else in to partner. I'm not calling plays. And then, boom, he's let go. The Jets part ways with Tanner Engstrand. Here's the head scratcher. And Corv salutes to you in the chat, Savage. He says, man, what is up with this team lately? Yeah, what is up? Because why would you fire Tanner Engstrand so late? If you were going to get rid of him and move on from him, you should have done that immediately after the season, because there was a host of people that could have come in, right, and gave you a fresh perspective as an offensive coordinator. You allowed the top talent. You allowed top talent offensive coordinators to go to various other places and skip over you because you were holding on to Tanner Engstrand, who you fired anyway. Goofy. Just goofy. Just so goofy. So now the New York Jets are looking for an offensive coordinator. The Jets, on their search for a defensive coordinator, brought in Wink Martindale, who a lot of people were up and down on, depending on however you felt about him. Some people were high on him, saying, hey, I mean, he's a guy that can come in here and do something out of all the names, right? He's a guy that can probably come in here and do a little something. He's not the greatest, but he's better than nothing. They brought Wink Martindale in for an interview. A lot of people were reporting that basically the deal was done. You know, that Wink Martindale was going to end up being the guy. And then, boom, that falls apart. That falls apart. And there's a lot of speculation that it fell apart because Aaron Glenn made it clear at some point that he was going to be the guy calling plays. Now, that to me, right? And this is rumors that are swirling about Aaron Glenn making it clear at some point that he was going to be calling plays. That signals to me, if that is true, and it makes sense, that signals to me that that's Aaron Glenn taking his own fate in his hands because he knows that he's a dead man walking. He knows it. He knows it. This is a make it or break it season. And if you don't do something, if you don't show this team that you can coach, if you don't show anyone that you can get something done here with this defense and that you can't continue to move forward with this team, you're going to find your way up out of here. Keep in mind, the Jets were already struggling to find coaches specifically on the defensive side as defensive coordinators to come in. They reached out to multiple big-name defensive coordinators and were turned down. I want you folks to hear these reports. Connor Hughes and Zach Rosenblatt, Jets Beat, went over this. Here's the audio.
So I did say this. I was actually talking to NYJ Max, one of that same coaching agent that I was talking to, incredibly plugged in. Like, he's been a very, very helpful resource to me, this dealing with the Giants search that they've had and several other things. He wouldn't give me the names, and then I confirmed it with another coach who also, he's like, I don't want to embarrass like the Jets to like say it. But they did reach out to what I heard, two of the big name defensive coordinating candidates who were available, and both candidates just weren't interested in working for the Jets and Aaron Glenn at this time, which I understand. Like, it's a team that's not going to be very good next year. If you're a major name defensive coordinator, you're going to have like major suitors. So they just weren't interested in talking to the Jets. That's not entirely uncommon. People got super angry about the Jets not putting in requests to interview Ben Johnson last year. Ben Johnson let it be known to the Jets, like, if you send an interview request, I'm not going to take it. Like, I'm not going to interview with you. So a lot of times these, like, major candidates who are going to have a slew of interviews and definitely know they're going to get a job, like those major defensive coordinating candidates, they're going to be picky with their jobs, and the Jets just weren't necessarily an opportunity they wanted to take. So this wasn't like Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji were intentionally ignoring the top candidates out there or only trying to go for these like smaller guys aside from Wink and Jim. It's just some of the people that they reached out to just weren't necessarily interested in the opening. Back to you, Zach. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. Which was what I was pretty much about to say, and then you hit the reporting part of it. Yeah, I've heard that too. Wow. No, you're good. You're good. No, I wasn't saying that because you dove into more deeply like specifics. I'd say I've heard that broadly. That code there's been beyond even just the two that you mentioned. I think there's been more than that were like, no, thank you. I don't really want to take that interview.
I just heard it. Unfortunately, I heard two specifically sets, but I didn't hear any. Maybe it was.
Wow. There you have it. And with that, you see that the New York Jets have become a place, right? The New York Jets have become a place that when coaching positions open, when there's a need here, a lot of candidates, unless you are like starving to get your foot in the door so that you can try to show people that you can make something happen, unless you're a guy like that, an assistant that is looking to take the next step to try to just do not come to the New York Jets. There are other reporters that talked about how there's talk around the league that the Jets are looked at as a place that you do not want to go. Don't take that job. Don't take that job. That is how the Jets are looked at. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. And it's sad. After everything broke down with Wink Martindale, the Jets ended up hiring former Dolphins assistant Brian Duker as their new defensive coordinator. Not shocked. I'm not shocked. And we'll see what he does. Honestly, I was not surprised that the Jets ended up with a guy that was coming in, first-time DC, going to be coming into the building, looking at the situation where Aaron Glenn is going to be the guy that is taking things over. He's going to be the guy calling plays. He's going to be in charge of, the game plans and all this stuff. He's going to have his hands immersed in the defense because he has to. He has to. And I'm going to keep it 100% real. I think all of this stuff, and we're going to talk about the Jets offensive coordinator position next. I think all of this is coming from Woody Johnson. I think that Woody Johnson told, and this is my opinion, I think that Woody Johnson told Aaron Glenn to fire those guys. I think Woody Johnson told Aaron Glenn to get rid of a bunch of guys and make some changes, or he was going to make the top change, which was getting Aaron Glenn up out of here. That's my personal opinion. I think that's why a lot of this stuff happened so late. I think that's why there's been a lot of talk around the league that this is not a place that you want to go, because a lot of people see the writing on the wall that Aaron Glenn is a lame duck head coach. And there's a lot of problems here. A lot. You got a lame duck head coach, and you got an owner that will not get out of football operations. Woody Johnson will never stop. The Jets offensive coordinator position, as I just spoke about, right? We move forward from Tanner Engstrand. Well, it's wide open. There's a lot of talk about Frank Reich being the guy to come into the building, right? Frank Reich, a lot of people reporting Frank Reich is the guy. I mean, if you listen to reports from a while ago, basically the deal was already done, but he has yet to actually close the deal, all right? Ink is not on the contract as of yet, all right? Now, maybe it happens right now while I'm live. I don't know. But, Frank Reich has been out the league for a little. Okay? Last time he was here, he's fired by the Panthers after a 1-10 start, fired during the season. He was also fired by the Colts after a 3-5-1. He was fired during the season then too. I think that Frank Reich has, out of a lot of the names that we talk about, he absolutely is the top name. He's a guy that could work with a quarterback. We'll see what the New York Jets end up doing at quarterback. But he might be the guy that the Jets actually end up with. He wouldn't be horrible, but I mean, we got to see what he's bringing to the table at this point. Greg Roman's another name out there as well. Bad year with the Chargers. Now, Greg Roman, one thing I really like about Greg Roman is his running game. Magnifique. You want to talk about putting a run scheme together? Brother, Greg Roman, one of the best in the league. If we were talking about him being like a running game coordinator, I'd love it. Sign me up every day and twice on Sunday. All right? Running game is phenomenal. The problem with Greg Roman is his work with quarterbacks leaves a lot to be desired. The passing game, a lot to be desired with him as an offensive coordinator. A lot to be desired. Now, running the ball, that's a big plus. But when you look at the New York Jets, we're going into a space, and we'll see if the Jets actually end up drafting a quarterback. We got quarterbacks going back to college to avoid us. Shout out to Dante Moore. Oh, my goodness. That's where we're at. We got guys trying to, whoa. I'm going back to school. I don't want to deal with the Jets. He didn't say it, but that was the feeling around the league. Here we are. And that's why I think that Greg Roman is probably the number 2 guy. I don't think he'll come in here and be the Jets running game coordinator. I don't think he'll do that. If he's willing to take that job, I would love to see Frank Reich as the Jets offensive coordinator and then Roman as the running game coordinator. But I don't think that happens at this point. I think the best that we're going to be able to do is probably Reich as an offensive coordinator or Roman as a coordinator. But let me tell you something. I could also see the New York Jets ending up with a lesser no-name guy or a no-name assistant coming up through the ranks because that's just the guy that was willing to take the job. I could absolutely see that happening with the New York Jets. Well, we'll see what happens. This is Rough Savages. I see you in the building. Okay. Mike Katina salutes and respect to you. He says, Giants have energy flowing through the building. The Jets are a disaster and have been more times than not since the Super Bowl. Katina says, Tomlin won't embarrass himself coming to the Jets. Once Woody sells, then the crap show will turn around. Jack salutes. Jack says, you are exactly right. The Giants have all this good energy flow, and the Jets are just flopping and failing. We're in a really, really rough position. I'm telling you. I don't think I've ever seen such a confusing road to try to find a staff. I've just never everything that has gone on is a ball of confusion with the Jets. Never mind the fact that there's also reports, according to Zach Rosenblatt, that the Jets reached out to John Gruden. According to Zach Rosenblatt, the Jets reached out to John Gruden and he turned them down. Now, everybody was thinking, hey, you reach out to John Gruden, you're reaching out to him for the offensive coordinator position. And he turned the Jets down. Well, John Gruden comes out publicly on a radio show and says, the Jets never contacted me at all. There's a lot of false reports out there that never happened, right? Zach Rosenblatt was then allowed to go on a radio platform as well and refute those. And he said, hey, listen. The Jets did indeed call John Gruden, but he turned him down. I'm not saying it was for an offensive coordinator position, and he says he's not saying it was for an offensive coordinator position, but they definitely called him for some reason to be a part of the staff, and he turned him down. So these reports are swirling. They're all over the place. I don't know, but it's rough. It's rough being a Jets fan right now. I'll tell you. There's such a lack of direction, and there's so much confusion surrounding this New York Jets football team. The Browns have also planned to hire Jeff Blasco, who's the Jets tight end coach currently. And it's not finalized yet, but they're looking to grab him. So that would be another coach leaving the New York Jets. I think that's like 10 or 11 coaches now that have left the Jets staff. Wow. This is going to be an interesting season. Oh, when you look at this situation, man, you got a lot of moving parts, a lot of things moving and shaking. Again, the lines are open. 805-885-0467. Listen here. You got so many things going on. I'm looking around and I'm saying to myself, bruh, I just don't see how the New York Jets did not get rid of Aaron Glenn. I just don't see it. When you got all of this confusion going on with who you're going to hire, who you're going to bring in, all this stuff, you should have just gotten rid of him and allowed the new coach to come into the building and make changes necessary. Keep in mind there was a host of names out there. Kevin Stefanski, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but he was available. Raheem Morris was also available as well. Brian Dable, Pete Carroll, Mike McDaniel is available as well. I know he's since, found another spot. Sean McDermott, who was surprisingly fired by the Buffalo Bills. I was surprised that he got fired. I mean, guy makes the playoffs. Yeah, they didn't win a Super Bowl this year, but I mean, they've been pretty good under him. But he's fired out the door, right? John Harbaugh as well. Guys stepping away like Mike Tomlin. Man. A host of people that you could have brought in that would have been able to help this team turn things around, that could have given you a fresh perspective and given you an upgrade over what we've seen. People can argue and yell at me all day if they want to on Twitter. Feel free. I'll go back and forth with you at the Long Beach Joe. I will go back and forth with you all day long. Aaron Glenn by far is the worst head coach in the entire league. And I'm not dramatic. Everyone knows that. I'm not a dramatic guy. Aaron Glenn by far is the worst head coach in the league. Shonen, salutes. Good to see you in the building. He's bad. He's a bad time manager, right? In-game decisions, bad. All these things are bad. They're bad. I just don't understand how you allow this to continue forward. I just don't get it. Also, we see on the flip side of that, we see other teams that have made coaching changes have major success. We see players, former Jets, that have been able to go other places with coaches that can help foster their talent better, can help them grow as players. We see them having major success in this league as well. Sam Darnold has taken the Seattle Seahawks to the Super Bowl. I'm going to say this again. Sam Darnold has taken the Seattle Seahawks to the Super Bowl. Why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing it up because I remember the run up to the New York Jets drafting Sam Darnold. And I didn't think that we were ever going to grab him. There was no way that the Browns were going to pass on Sam Darnold. There was no way in the world. And they did. And he ended up falling right to us at number 2, right there, right for the picking. We grab him, and from the second he got in the door, we were never able to put the proper offensive line around him. We couldn't properly protect him. We never gave him weapons. He never had a legitimate number 1 wide receiver. Nothing. And we never gave him the coaching necessary for him to grow here. From Bowles to Gaze, we cooked him. And we threw him out of here. And from day one, from him getting thrown out of here, he never bashed the New York Jets. Never. He never bashed the Jets. He went on about his merry way, went to Carolina, I think it was to the Niners, then went to the Vikings and lit it up there. The light turned on. Everything that I told people about Sam Darnold, because everyone knows I'm an SC guy, fight on. Everything that I told them about Sam and how good he can be in this league shined. He goes from the Vikings to Seattle. First year there, he's in the Super Bowl. And he's a gigantic reason of why they're in the Super Bowl. A gigantic reason. Coaching. Coaching matters. He got into a spot where they said, hey, you do A, B, and C well. We're going to build offensive game plans around your strengths, and we're going to be successful. We're going to ride with you. We got your back. We're going to give you weapons. He has multiple weapons there from, Jackson Nigba. He's got multiple weapons there. Their running game's really good. He's a guy that's able to come in. He's protected well. He's not getting smacked around. And he's able to go out there and be Sam Darnold. That matters. That's the reason why the Jets have not been successful. We've struggled to do that. We've struggled. It's part of the reason why the Jets have been so inept at quarterback. We've struggled to surround our quarterbacks with what they need to succeed. Even with Aaron Rodgers in the building, we struggled to surround him with protection at times. That's why he was getting blasted. There was issues with various other things as well. Then you look at the other dagger that really hits you as a Jets fan. And salutes to the Savages. I'll come to y'all in just a second. The New England Patriots are in the Super Bowl yet again. Not with Belichick this time. Oh, no. This time, the New England Patriots are in a Super Bowl with their brand new head coach, Mike Vrabel. Why am I bringing this up? Why? Joe, why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about the Patriots? We all hate the Patriots, Joe. Yes, I hate the Patriots too. I can't stand them. I cannot stand them. I wish that they would just get deleted from the AFC East. Go somewhere else. Go to the AFC North. Go to the AFC South. Go somewhere else. Just get out of the East. Right? I cannot stand that team. I can't stand the logo. I can't stand their fans. Their fans are very snobby. Nose in the air, pinky up. I cannot stand them. I cannot stand them. Give me 1 second, caller. Give me 1 second. I'll come right to you. Hold on, Chris. Hold on. I cannot stand them. But guess what? Coaching matters. This is why it was so important to me to get rid of Aaron Glenn. Coaching matters in this league, and the Patriots know that better than any dang team in the league. Why do they know that? They know that because they had Belichick, right? Nobody liked him outside of Patriots fans. Nobody around the league liked Bill Belichick. Couldn't stand him. But he was great. He's great. You could argue he's the greatest coach to ever been in the league. You could argue that. I don't know how he doesn't get the Hall of Fame nod. I think he's got 6 Super Bowls. But we'll talk about that later. But he's great. And they got to where they got because the Patriots were always on point when it came to situational football. They always got the most out of the players, and they were always disciplined. Coaching, leadership, that's what got the Patriots to where they're at. So what do? They move on from Belichick when they feel like the thrill is gone, baby. The thrill is gone. It's going away. When they thought, you know what, that light's out, we're going to light something else. We're going to find a new light to bring in here because that light's getting a bit dim. Well, they go grab Mike Vrabel, former Patriot. And he comes into the building. And let me tell you how much coaching matters. You know the quarterback issue that the Jets have had for so long? The Patriots were having a quarterback issue with Drake May. I remember, and people out there can lie about it now. I'm pointing directly at you if you lied about it. Drake May last season was considered a bust. People were saying that Drake May was trash and that he was never going to be good and that they should have never drafted him and get rid of him. He's garbage. The Patriots should have never have taken him, get him up out of here. The Patriots are coming off of a season with Gerard Mayo that was bad, and the team was bad already. They lacked talent, all these things. I think Gerard Mayo held the bag for something that really wasn't his fault, but whatever. Drake May was considered trash. He was done. He was never going to be a franchise quarterback. It was over. Everything was finished. These guys are undisciplined. Everything's awry. Mike Vrabel comes in, installs his program. Drake May has completely turned around. Completely turned around. This season, cooking. No lie, cooking. The Patriots went from being literally one of the worst teams in the league under Mayo to being in the Super Bowl under Vrabel. Everything changed when they got the right coaching in the building. and a guy that they were getting ready to take outside and put in the dumpster so that somebody could pick him up on trash day and get him out of here, has proven himself at this point to look like he is absolutely going to be their franchise quarterback, and not just their franchise quarterback, but one of the best quarterbacks in the entire league. One of the top quarterbacks in the league. That's what Drake May looks like. Like a guy that's going to be a contender for MVP season after season after season with them. Coaching matters. It matters. And the New York Jets are in trouble because they just don't understand that. Please give the stream a thumbs up. Chris, I'll be coming to you in just a second. I want to hear from you, man. Please give the stream a thumbs up no matter where you're from, okay? Go ahead, comment. Let me know what you folks are thinking. Share the stream with your friends and your family across your social media, okay? If you want to give to the platform, Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Super Chat is in the stream. Anything that you want to give to this platform is greatly appreciated. Salutes to the Savages. I'll be coming to you folks as well, so put your thoughts and your questions, your takes in the comments. I come to y'all, as you see. All right? Shonen salutes. He says, what's good, Joe? Been a while since I been here, but I feel as we are never going to win anything unless the Johnsons sell the team. Washington had a huge boost when they did it. Yeah. As long as Woody Johnson is constantly getting involved in football operations the way that he has been, we're always going to be in trouble. And I keep saying that because no one's going to want to come here because he's the owner. He's the owner. We've heard this constantly. We've heard this recently. There's a lot of people that avoid the New York Jets, a lot of coaches, a lot of executives. We know there's a lot of players that avoid the New York Jets at all costs because Woody Johnson is the owner, and they don't want to deal with him at all. That's a fact. Chris salutes. Can you hear me, Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you, Joe. I can hear you good.
Listen, Chris, first off, salutes to Chris. For those of you that do not know Chris, he's a savage. Okay? He's a savage. Chris, man, I can't wait to talk to you. First off, I want to apologize, Chris. I know you were supposed to connect on a couple shows ago, and I wasn't able to get you on. But now you're here, okay? And I want to thank you for coming on because you always know I like to go back and forth with you about this football team. Chris, there's a lot of things that have gone on here. A lot of things that have gone on.
I know.
What are your thoughts about this Jets? What are your thoughts about this Jets situation with this staff? And are you surprised that Aaron Glenn is still the Jets head coach?
Listen, just a little different perspective. Like just growing up in Uniondale, watching the Jets practice in the 90s, seeing Aaron Glenn as a player, how much he loves this organization and his team. Aaron Glenn bleeds jet green, man, and it's sad to see him, like, as much as he want to win, for this to come this way, But I don't think there's anybody that wants to win as a Jet more than him. When they lost that game in Denver, like he said, man, when they came back, because the Jets training facility was in Hempstead, New York, man, and these guys lived among us, Chad Pennington, and these guys, man, they bleed this team, man. There's a lot of players around this guy that's kind of coaching him up and stuff. So he really feels that he let the organization down, But that being said, he has a lot to prove, man. And like you said, nobody wants to work for Woody. And I think that the only guy that can, get kind of Woody on a portion is somebody like him, unfortunately. And, let me just say something about Tanner Engstrom.
Go ahead.
I didn't like
Tanner
Engstrom.
Next.
I didn't like Tanner. I think he didn't use Breece Hall the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Mason Taylor left to decide to desire I believe Brees Hall should have been the focal point of our offense in the passing game. He didn't do it. He's young, and bringing somebody in that with a little bit more experience. Listen, Josh McDaniels was a failed head coach too.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't. He was a failure. You know what I'm saying? But he's a good offensive coordinator. But as a coach, he said some guys can't be head coaches, and I think for defensively, as the guys out there, I like Wink, but if Aaron Glenn's going to go, I got to respect somebody who says, listen, if I'm going to go down, I'm going down with my guys. And it'll be a sad day if Aaron Glenn gets fired as our coach, man. It's a sad. Because, Joe, you got to understand, for me to look at, listen, you got to understand, for me, seeing this guy bleed jet green, and he loves this organization, dude.
Okay.
Even if it was a Stafford, even for Gerard Mayo, but for Aaron Glenn, you know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing,
because
though.
because Joe, he was there when the team was garbage.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
When all those guys was in there, and then Parcells came in there and changed the organization.
Hold on, Chris. And I hear you. And I want to have a respectful back and forth with you because I really like your takes. I respect your perspective, but I vehemently disagree. Here's the deal. Everyone knows what time it is here. I understand that Aaron Glenn is a Jets great. He is. Phenomenal player. I used to watch him growing up. He's one of the best cornerbacks that the New York Jets have had. That has nothing to do with him being a head coach. Nothing. At all. At the end of the day, you get it done or you don't get it done. You know what's crazy about what you're saying? When Rex Ryan wasn't getting it done, the Jets fans, you had no problem getting him up out of here. You had no problem getting him up out of here. At all. We talked about this before. Even though the defense was screaming, and the defense was never bad under Rex, the offense didn't perform well, the team wasn't doing what they needed to do, and I remember you said it's time for him to go. So
yeah,
why?
Right, it was.
Hold on. Okay. But why now, right? Aaron Glenn gets a pass? Aaron Glenn gets a pass. Let me finish, Chris. Let me finish. He gets a pass, and he shouldn't be fired. Why? He's not getting it done. And it's not just not getting it done, Chris. It's not getting it done on multiple levels as a head coach. The defense is terrible. He's a defensive guy. He was brought in here to fix this Jets defense. Am I correct on that, Chris?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So he was brought in here to fix this Jets defense. Everybody said, Robert Saleh, buns, cheeks, he's bad. Get him out of here. This defense sucks. Aaron Glenn comes in here. The defense is even worse. They can't stop anybody. Nobody. They can't stop anybody. This defense this year looked like something I've never seen before as a Jets fan. Ever.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
It was insane. I don't even think they had what did they have? First off, they struggled to create turnovers, and then they had no interceptions at all this year. That's impossible to do in a passing league.
Right.
You could argue that various players on the defensive side of the ball regressed under Aaron Glenn and his staff. One of them being Will McDonald, who went from having 10.5 sacks last season, looking like a promising pass rusher, looking like a guy that was really going to ascend in this league, to being a guy that was on a milk carton under Steve Wilkes and Aaron Glenn.
Right.
I'm not giving Aaron Glenn a pass because you hired these guys. You're the defensive guy. Right. You hired Steve Wilkes. You brought him in here. He stunk. You stink. You talk about the offensive side of the ball. I want to talk about that as well. Yeah, Tanner Engstrand didn't use Brees Hall correctly. We talked about that all season. Guess who hired Tanner Engstrand? Aaron Glenn. Do you want to talk about Justin Fields and that debacle? How Aaron Glenn was so quick to run Aaron Rodgers up out of here as fast as possible because they were screaming to get to Pittsburgh to grab Justin Fields and bring him into the building and give him $30 million guaranteed, only to then bench him or almost bench him 6 weeks into the season? And then they turned around and benched him a couple weeks later, and we never heard from him again or saw him again?
Right.
Are we going to talk about that? Because guess what that is?
Well, yeah,
that is you
agree.
selecting your quarterback. Nobody wants
right.
to talk about that. Aaron Glenn was the one that turned up the heat on himself when he got rid of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers,
right.
I don't think he would have been Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that Aaron Rodgers would have given you a steady presence at quarterback to allow you to assess a lot of other things and steady your offense. You went into the wilderness to grab Justin Fields. You did that. Nobody asked you to do that. You said, I'm putting my pack on. I'm grabbing my canteen. I'm going into the wilderness. I don't give a damn if it's dark out there. I got a flashlight. That's what you did. So when you see the lack of success offensively, that's on you because that's what you wanted.
But Joe, don't you think that he made a mistake when everybody knew this was a rebuild, right?
Yeah.
I think the mistake was he thought he could win with Salah's guys, and those wasn't his players. And I think that it should have been what it was. I think everybody would have been fine with the season. They would have looked forward to the draft picks. They traded all the people, and they said this is going to be a new rebuild. His mistake was he came in and he thought he saw some talent and it should have been a stripped down rebuild from the start.
I got a question.
From the start of the whole thing, from the start of the whole thing, because even Salah, when he first started with the Jets, he had to bring his guys in the thing. You know what I'm saying? He had to bring his players in the thing because the defense was garbage on the first year under Salah, right? And then like I said, that's what I'm telling. It was 32. It was horrible. Mm-hmm. But then the next year it was a lot better. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was talking about firing Olbrook because the defense was so bad. Mm-hmm. I think the mistake was this was a rebuild. Mm-hmm. This wasn't a retooling, and this wasn't a retool. They should have stripped down the team. Mm-hmm. Once Salah was fired, he said, listen, we're going to rebuild this organization. We're going to do this. He should have traded Quinnen at the beginning of the year, Sauce or whatever. That should have been done at the start of the whole thing, because I don't think he could have built this team. The team, he has to build it in a way that he envisioned it and he can win with. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't have tried to win with Robert Saleh's players. He tried to win with them, and I think it was a mistake. Now the Justin Fields thing, we're gonna listen. Justin Fields was never this bad, okay? And Justin Fields from college, from everything else, like you said with Sam Darnold, you have to put people in the right position. Mm-hmm. You can't take Tom Brady and give him Lamar Jackson's playbook. Mm-hmm. He's not Jared Goff. Mm-hmm. They're running a Jared Goff offense for Lamar Jackson. How is that going to work? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to work. He's one read. He's quick. He runs the ball. He would be better off under Greg Roman, of somebody like that. You have to cater. You're right, Sam Darnold. You have to cater your thing towards him. And like I said, Justin Fields ain't the greatest quarterback. I agree with you, but he's damn sure not that bad. Yeah. Okay. So and that's a reflection of Tanner Engstrom and Aaron Glenn and the whole offensive staff, because he's not that bad. Now I'll let you talk into this, but this is what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
I think this whole change didn't come from Woody Johnson. I think it came from Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson and the players in the locker room, Jermaine Johnson, and everybody else with the management, and didn't want any of these guys there. I guarantee you that, because Breece wasn't coming back with Terry Engstrom as the offensive coordinator. I guarantee you that.
Hold on. Now, again, we're going to go back and forth. Here's the deal, though. With everything you just said, you made my point of why I consistently say that Aaron Glenn should have been fired, even though you're saying that he shouldn't have been. You talked about this being a rebuild, and I'll get to Breece Hall in just a second, because I don't think he's coming back here. And if I was Breece Hall, you couldn't pay me enough to come back here. You couldn't pay me enough, but we'll get to that in just a second. If you're coming into the door and you understand that this is a rebuild, right? You understand, and even though they said, "Oh, we're going to win," we all knew that the Jets were going to need talent at various spots. Right. How can you say that this is not a rebuild when you don't even have an identified number 2 wide receiver? Outside of Garrett Wilson, there is no other wide receivers on the New York Jets.
Right.
And we all know that. The Jets lack complete weapons. That's why we drafted Mason Taylor, who I think could be pretty good as time goes on. I thought he should have been more involved in the offense this year, but he looks promising, and I liked him, right? But they don't have no weapons. So if you're coming into the door knowing that, then guess what is extremely important when we talk about rebuilds? Coaching. Because you can talk about all these players. If the players are so trash, why did you fire your defensive coordinator in season? Right. If the players are so trash, why did you fire pretty damn near most of your defensive staff? If the players are so trash, why did you get rid of Tanner Engstrand? Why did you try to strip him of his play calling duties? If the players are trash. If the players are so trash, why did you fire a bunch of offensive assistants too? Hold on.
But don't you think
hold on. It is not the players. It's not the players. You want to know what's crazy? I'll tell you when it is the players. When Robert Saleh came out and bashed Alan Lazard because he was running lazy routes, that's the players. Aaron Glenn did his homework this year with his. He told y'all multiple times after games, I got to look at the tape and see what's going on. And he himself even realized these guys, this coaching is not where it needs to be. The writing's on the wall. And if I don't get these guys out of here, I'm probably gonna get kicked up out of here. My keister is gone. That is on Aaron Glenn, because when you come into a space, when you come into a team and you know that you're going into a rebuild, coaching is one of the most important things in a rebuild. If not the most important thing in a rebuild. You want to know why? The Jets have been through this before. Remember when we went into a rebuild with Todd Bowles as our head coach? Yeah. I was screaming to the hills, and I said, this is one of the worst decisions the Jets have ever made, because Todd Bowles cannot coach. He's not going to be able to schematically come out week after week as a head coach, now as a defensive coordinator, and what he's done with Tampa Bay, as a head coach over there, he's worked out. But here, he was not ready to be that guy. You have to put players in positions to succeed. You have to build around their strengths of their skill sets, and you also have to grow and weed out their weaknesses. That's why players get better. Their strength or their weaknesses then become their strengths. Patrick Mahomes wasn't this good year one, but he was good. He kept working with Andy Reid. He kept continuing to have him and help him ascend and coach him up. And then guess what? Now he's that guy. If you do not have the right coach in a rebuild, you will go through exactly what the New York Jets have been going through. Constant rebuilds. Talent won't pan out.
I agree.
Hold on. Talent won't pan out. Look at what we've gone through. Talent won't pan out. You'll have guys that can't wait to get out of here because you'll constantly fail. We've had that too. We've had guys screaming to get up out of here. Trade me. Breece Hall was one of those guys at one point, according to reports. Right? There's been other guys that have screamed, get me out of the New York Jets. I don't want to be here. You're never going to be good. Get me out of here now. Quinnen Williams supposedly requested a trade from the New York Jets. That was one of our foundational guys. When Sauce got traded, bro, they were on social media damn near celebrating. We're on a new team. We're fine. I woke up a loser, I went to sleep a loser, woke up a winner. I'm paraphrasing one of Sauce's tweets. All these things that you're seeing that are so discombobulated with the New York Jets because the coaching's not there. You can't go into a rebuild and have bad coaching. But you look at the other side, the Patriots. Chris, the Patriots went into a rebuild way after we did with Gerard Mayo. That was way after us. And they came out of the rebuild way before us, and they're in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, why is Patriots? That? But you gotta get the Patriots.
Why is that though, Chris?
The Patriots had
go ahead.
They had a whole bunch of cap room. They had a whole bunch of things. You know what I'm saying? They surrounded and they brought in another offense. They brought in a veteran offensive coordinator, like they're doing. So
that's
coaching.
Like
I said, I agree with you. I agree, Joe. I agree exactly what you're saying.
It's coaching.
But what I'm saying is that I think it was a mistake for them to just not strip the whole team down. And I disagree with you. I think it was the offense. I think Sean Jefferson's still around, the wide receiver coach. And I don't believe that's for a reason, okay? So I think it was the players that went to Aaron Glenn at the end of the meetings, at the end of the, and this is what nobody's talking about. I be like, we don't want any of these guys. We don't think any of these guys catch. If we want these guys, you got to trade us.
Then you should have fired
So
Aaron Glenn.
what was the coach supposed? If you got another coach, then Garrett Wilson would have asked out, Breece Hall would have asked out, Jermaine Johnson would have asked out, and Will McDonald's out of here.
Listen, first off, you're blowing out the staff already. You're already blowing.
But
Chris, here's my issue.
Probably went to them and requested
and that's fine if that's your ideology on that. If that's your perspective, and there's no proof to that. But if that's your perspective,
but Joe, how can that not be? Because Sean Jefferson's still there. The wide receiver coach is still there.
Let me finish. If that is true,
Garrett Wilson's coach is still there.
Listen,
how can you not think they don't have a say?
He doesn't have a say. Let me tell you why he doesn't have a say. He doesn't have a say because why the hell would you fire Tanner Engstrand 3 weeks after every other great offensive, coach is gone to other teams? Why would you do that? Garrett Wilson has been one of those guys that have been vocal, not, he's not overstepping, being vocal. When asked, he'll talk about how bad the Jets' offensive game planning has been. Okay, so if they've been coming to you all season, right? Why the hell would you wait until every other good young offensive mind or offensive guy out there is gone and then settle for Frank Wright and Greg Roman? Do you think that Greg Roman is going to help a quarterback? Is going to help a quarterback get the ball to Garrett Wilson?
But you're going to the fact that these new offensive coordinator guys could be good. You saw Josh McDaniels. He was a failed head coach.
Okay.
He was a failed head coach. And he came back to the Patriots, and Frank Reich was a failed head coach, but he's a good offensive coordinator. Greg Roman has a good running game. If they put this thing together the right way, maybe it can work. But like I said, these guys who are failed head coaches, and the only reason Todd Bowles succeeded is because he got an offensive coordinator.
Listen.
That's it.
Listen.
He calls the defense. So
they
does Sean
should
Payton.
have fired Aaron Glenn. He should have been fired directly after the season. I don't care where it came from. Who
are you going to bring in?
There was a host of guys you could have brought in. You don't think
like who?
Let's just.
You think you was going to get Dable?
You don't think that Dable would have? You don't think that Brian Dable would have been able to come in here and put something together better than what we've seen from Aaron Glenn?
No,
I do.
Did you see what he?
Harbaugh.
Did you see what he did with the Giants?
He's not my first pick, but Harbaugh, I'd have taken him. Easy. Easy.
Look,
pay him top money. You got a ton of picks. I got a ton of cap room for you. Here you go. There's a host of guys that were absolutely be better than Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is a bad head coach, Chris. And you can try to listen. I know you got love for Aaron Glenn. I do as well. As a player, phenomenal player as the Jets. I love him. But as a head coach, he's one of the worst. And you continue to tie yourself to him, and you will sink. This team will sink with him. I'm telling you. I'm done. I'm tired of rebuilds. I'm so tired of rebuilds, Chris. And all I see is yet another rebuild coming.
Why can't you and other people accept that this is a rebuilding year? And listen, if we was gonna get one of these good quarterbacks, we had to be bad. If we were gonna get one of these good quarterbacks, we didn't, right? We wouldn't. This is the Raiders were terribly awful, but in order to get one of these state quarterbacks, and that's the problem with this franchise for 100 years. And another thing, Joe, you got to understand this. What you said with Sam Darnold is correct. They have to build the team. And us as Jets fans, we're not patient enough to say, hey, listen, it's going to take a couple of years to build it up.
Jets fans are not patient enough.
We're going to lose, but then we're going to win.
Jets fans are not patient enough.
One more, 2 more seasons, we'll be a dynasty team. We got a good offensive line.
Chris,
we get a quarterback.
Did you just tell me the Jets fans are not patient enough? The New York Jets have not been in the playoffs for over a decade. We sat through Zach Wilson. We sat through a rebuild with Zach Wilson.
Listen, Joe.
Oh my goodness! Finish up, Chris. I'll give you the last word.
Being 6-8 is not good enough. You got to be bad. You know what I'm saying? You have to be really bad. We were always 9-10, 6-10.
Oh my Lord.
7-10. You know what I'm saying? We weren't bad enough to get a top quarterback, and we always missed out on guys. Except for that year, Patrick Mahomes. We drafted Jamal Adams. I wanted. You remember me? I wanted Deshaun Watson, but that wouldn't have been. we'll see what happens with that.
All right,
but
Chris.
I mean that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but
I vehemently disagree with you. You saying the Jets fans are not patient enough. I don't agree with that at all. The Jets fans have been more than patient. We're the most passionate.
So what do you want them to do,
We're the most
Joe?
passionate fan base in the entire league because this team stinks.
But what do you want us to do?
Year. I want them to fire Aaron Glenn and have a direction. That's what I want. I want you to fire Aaron Glenn and find me a leader of men that are going to come in here, put it down, make sure that his program is tight, and go out there and win games. I want a guy that's going to come in here, be disciplined, understand how to manage. Hold on. You asked me what I wanted. Let me finish. I want a guy that's going to come in here, make sure his program is tight, make sure that players are held accountable, make sure that guys go out there and perform on the field, and if they don't, he get their keisters up out of here. I want a guy that's going to be able to grow young quarterback or to grow young talent and put them in positions to succeed. I want a guy that can manage a game, and Aaron Glenn is none of those things.
And it's going to take a while to do that.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't, Chris. It doesn't take a long time because I just watched Mike Vrabel take a team that was garbage.
Okay,
that was garbage and in a rebuild last year to a Super Bowl this year. It don't take that long.
And he had the quarterback figured out already.
What?
He had the quarterback already.
Chris, Drake May was considered a bust. Everybody said that Drake May was trash and that he should be gone. They did not have their quarterback situation figured out. What are you talking about?
But
I'll give you the last word.
Listen, I'm up here in the thing. And the problem was with Mayo is that his offensive coordinator, they didn't like the way he was calling the plays and everything else for Drake May. He got himself a great offensive coordinator. He got a failed head coach, which is an offensive coordinator. But the thing is that you have the quarterback already filled. You have it already. Drake May had a lot of talent. I agree with you about Sam Darnold. We blew that. We blew Sam Darnold. We blew that. But like I said, that would require a whole bunch of things as far as trades and changes. If they traded back, they could have got some guards and some tackles and things. We shouldn't draft a quarterback now. In 2027, yeah, 2028 we'll be ready to rock and roll, man. And that's how I feel about it, man.
Look,
maybe Aaron Glenn won't be the coach, right? I believe that we're not just going to stick somebody, just get somebody in here like a journeyman quarterback and go to the Super Bowl. That just, Sam Darnold's the outlier. Okay, it's usually some type of great type of quarterback. They got lucky this year with Josh Allen getting hurt and stuff, but it is and Patrick Mahomes and all this stuff. This was a great year for the Patriots, and you got to understand, there's a lot of luck the Patriots get there. They didn't have to go through Lamar, they didn't have to go through Josh Allen, and they didn't have to go through Patrick Mahomes. So it was a combination of luck, man. It's like hitting 7 on the crapshoot, man. So I mean, it ain't.
Chris,
would they have beat the Chiefs? No. If what's the name played in that game, would they be in the playoffs? No, they wouldn't. They would have lost that game against Denver. So they got lucky, man.
We will never know. Chris, give me your Super Bowl prediction. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses?
I'm going with the Seattle 27-20.
27-20. That's what Chris. You know I absolutely love talking Jets with you. The next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
All right, guys.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, Chris calling in. I don't agree with Chris. I don't agree. But I do respect his takes. I respect his takes. But I vehemently disagree. I go back and forth with people all the time. But man, oh man, I cannot agree with his takes. Rusty, I'm gonna come to you next. I gotta get to Max. I'll come right back to you, Rusty. Trust me, you're gonna be the next call. I cannot agree with I cannot agree with Chris on this. I can't do it. I can't do it. Shonen salutes. Shonen says Caleb was considered a bust last year. Look at him now. Yeah, absolutely. Look at him now. Max, are you on the line, man?
Nah, Joe, what up? It's
Oh, this is Rusty. Excuse me. My bad.
What's up,
We'll take your call. We'll take your call, Rusty. Max will come to you next. Rusty, I'm going back and forth with people. Okay, I'm losing it, clearly. All right, I don't know what's going on. All right, the world is spinning.
Yeah, she blog talk is doing her thing.
I'm telling you. Max, I will come to you next.
If you want to go to Max, come back to me. It's cool, man.
Oh, okay. I'll come right back to you, Rusty. I'll come right back. I apologize, guys. Okay. Max, are you on the line here? Is this you, Max?
I'm on the line right now.
Max, I apologize. I apologize. Listen, I'm going back and forth. You know what's crazy about all of this, right? And I want to get your thoughts on this, Max. I have been going back and forth with a lot of people just like Chris. People be like, no, Joe, you don't be arguing with those people like that. Maybe one. No, it's a lot of people that I'm arguing with that say, hey, Aaron Glenn should not be fired, Joe. Stop saying that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Did you guys watch the season? Did anybody watch the season? And I'm going back and forth, and I'm respectful. Love Chris. Love his takes. But, bruh, this is insanity. Aaron Glenn should have been fired. No doubt in my mind about that. Look at how this whole situation has played out with this coaching search. It is a mess. It is a complete mess. Max salutes. For those of you that do not know Max, he is a savage. He's a savage in the building. Max, I'm going back and forth with a lot of people. I apologize. I'm glad that you're on the show. Give me your thoughts about all of this, man. I got people saying that Aaron Glenn shouldn't be fired. What are your thoughts about Brian Duker being the Jets' new defensive coordinator? What are your thoughts about the Jets' offensive coordinator search? Give me your thoughts, man.
I disagree with all the people that say, oh, we should not fire Aaron Glenn. Like, really, to the Aaron Glenn truthers right now, what does Aaron Glenn do well as a head coach? He does nothing well. Our defenses, sorry for the language, is a shit show. How do you have a defense?
Watch. Hey, this is a family. Hold on, Max. Max, this is a family show. Watch the language. All right.
Sure,
watch the language.
But our defense is crap. How do you have a defense that has 0 interceptions? You don't fire Tanner Angstran. I get he wasn't that. He was an okay coordinator. I didn't think he was that bad of a coordinator. But our quarterback play was terrible. I mean, he was like top 3 in terms of getting the receivers open. He was very good at getting the receivers open. So our quarterback play was terrible. Fields is the worst quarterback I've ever seen. You know it? And, people are like, oh, it takes a multi-year rebuild. No, it does not take many years to rebuild a team. It doesn't. I mean, it's what happened to coaching. You know what I don't get? I don't get why the Jets did not fire Aaron Glenn. With the amount of coaches on the market, we had McDermott on the market. We had Harbaugh on the market. We had Tomlin on the market. We had a lot of Stefanski on the market. We had a lot of proven coaches on the market. Why did we not fire Glenn then? Seriously. It's because Woody Johnson wants to give him a hug tomorrow morning. And honestly, to the truth, probably because Aaron Glenn's obsessed with Woody Johnson. I mean, if we had an owner who actually had a spine, we would have fired him. I mean, the only reason he's still the head coach of the Jets is because he was a former corner 30 years ago and he was a good player. But honestly, if Aaron Glenn was a player, if he was a player for another team or he actually had a competent owner, he would have already been fired.
Yeah, Max, listen, you talking that talk, man, and I'm just sitting back. I'm already ready to go, fired up. I'm going back and forth with folks, but you talking about, looking at these coordinator positions, right? We got Duker in the building now. What are your thoughts about this offensive coordinator situation? You got Frank Reich and Greg Roman, guys that are veteran coaches. They've done some things in this league before. Who are you choosing between them? Who do you think actually ends up becoming the Jets offensive coordinator at this point?
I mean, very uninspiring name. It was very uninspiring. Long Beach. It was very uninspiring names. You know why? Because we have Mr. You know what we have as a head coach? We have Mr. Trusty Bro as a head coach. That's why I call Aaron Glenn. And we would rather have Mr. Trusty Bro instead of getting an actual competent coach in the market. And you know what? I was happy because Aaron Glenn was a former player. He wanted to coach here. But honestly, as we learned from the Aaron Glenn hire, it's just not a job. New York's just not. The Jets' job is just not a coach. It's not a job for first timers. Honestly, we're terrible. Aaron Glenn's terrible. How do you have in the last 5 games alone? 5 you lose 5 games at 21 plus points. The only good thing Aaron Glenn's done. The only good thing Aaron Glenn's good at is the salsa dancing, honestly. But really, the special teams. If it wasn't for our special teams, our offense and defense, we'd top 5 worst DVOA in NFL history. It's total levels of ineptitude.
Yeah.
from the Jets. It's how bad is it? I mean, it's very uninspiring. But if I was picking a coordinator from those two names, maybe Reich, because he has had experience with like former back quarterbacks. But really, for people that are defending, oh, we shouldn't fire Glenn. It takes 5 years. It's not normal, guys. It's not normal. In the NFL, it's so quick. Look at the Patriots last year. The Patriots were worse than us last year, 4-13. But Kraft actually had actual balls. He fired Vrabel. My bad. He fired Mayo. He got Vrabel in the building. Now look at the Patriots. They're in the Super Bowl. It doesn't take 5-6 years to rebuild. It takes maybe 2 years. Really, coaching is the most important thing. Look at Caleb Williams before Ben Johnson was on the Bears. And you know what? I wanted the Jets to get Ben. Like last year when I was in the coaching market, Aaron Glenn was not my first choice. I wanted the Jets to get Ben Johnson because his Lions offense were good. Look at the Bears. I mean, I have family in Chicago. The Bears were a laughingstock for an organization for years.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson came to the Bears, turned around this entire Bears team, made the city finally believe. So, if you really want to talk, it's really a waste of time to talk about offensive coordinators. Honestly, I think Aaron Glenn's going to be fired 5 games in. And for the people that think, oh, Aaron Glenn's going to be here past 2026, you really think that? If you are compared to Adam Gase, I've said this for years, Long Beach, Gase was a horrible coach, but honestly, Glenn makes Gase look like Sean McVay. That's not bad of a Jets coach.
Goodness gracious. Listen, Max, before I let you go, man, because you brought some heat, Super Bowl prediction, who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
I have Seahawks winning. I'm rooting for the Seahawks to win. I want Sam Darnold to win the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold was one of my favorite Jets players. I didn't think the Jets ever failed Sam Darnold. I just think the Jets failed him more than Sam Darnold. I think because we hired Gase. I want Sam Darnold to win and show that the Jets were wrong picking Gase over Darnold. Because it was bad. Adam Gase is the worst Jets coach I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But until Aaron Glenn stopped it.
Yeah. Listen, Max, phenomenal.
Because I don't want to have to see Mr. Trusty Bro anymore as a head coach. He's terrible. He hates me every time he says in his press conferences he's inept. Oh, the brand of football. Aaron Glenn, your brand of football is getting blown out every week, being inept.
Yeah. Listen, Max, phenomenal call from you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
Sounds good.
Listen, phenomenal call from Max. Phenomenal call from Max. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Rusty, let me come back to you next. We got one more caller before Rusty. Oh, man. Let me tell you something. I'm going back and forth with a lot of people. I'm telling you right now. I'm going back and forth with a lot of people. A lot of people have hit me up and said, hey, Joe, I do not think that, Aaron Glenn should be fired. They've said these things. They've said these things to me. And I'm stunned. I'm stunned. I'm having these conversations, and I am absolutely stunned. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't get it at all. I'm going back and forth with a lot of people. And it is what it is.
Not available.
It absolutely is what it is. Like at the end of the day, when you look at this performance from this football team, when you look at what's been going on here, if you think that Aaron Glenn should stay, I don't get it. I don't get it. All of the things that people are talking about, everything that we've seen, the horrific coaching, the horrific in-game decisions, the lack of just everything, it's just completely mind-blowing. Rusty salutes. Good to have you back in the building. I apologize, man. Rusty, give me your thoughts, man. I'm going back and forth with so many people about about Aaron Glenn and people not wanting him fired. I absolutely think he should have been fired at the end of the season. What are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts about it all?
Do it next season. I mean, other than quarterback, obviously in this draft class, this class is stacked at our key positions. And 2026, that's stacked for quarterback. It is. Both me and you watch college football. We know this. It's not a hyperbole or whatever.
Archie's
people
coming out.
Call it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Archie's going to be in the building.
It's true. So, and then there's Sayin. Then there's that other kid from USC. Maybe there's Chambliss.
Yep.
There's Chambliss. I don't know. Is he coming out this year or whatever?
I'm not sure.
I'm not. But I mean, there's Stellars or whatever his name is, the kid from South Carolina. There's an incomparable to this year. Like Mendoza would be the only one going in the first. Lai Simpson, that cat would be going in like the fifth.
Mm-hmm.
He's whatever. Alabama, you know, please. He's a rosin to me, mixed in with Brandon Whedon. But as far as Aaron Glenn, ride it out, because we still have to. I don't think Woody will fire him that quick just because of the loyalty thing. But hey man, imagine that we lose out, Indy loses out, and Dallas loses out. We'll have the first 3 picks of the draft in 2026. That'd be crazy.
Here's my thing.
Madness.
And again, I want to thank you again. For those of you that do, Rusty is a savage. Let me put some respect on his name. Here's the deal.
Appreciate that, fam.
Here's the deal, man. No problem. Here's the deal. This loyalty thing, like, I get it, you know, because Woody definitely, I think, has had his hands in this whole situation. That's why it's just been a debacle. But if you look at what's going on here, the fact that the New York Jets are going to walk into yet another season with a guy that seems massively ill-equipped to actually be a head coach in this league. Now he's struggling to put together a staff. Mind you, the combine is a couple weeks away. You already want to have your staff set by now so that you can go in there and really, you know, do your evaluation on players and make sure that you can get guys in here that are going to succeed, because we are in a rebuild. That's extremely important. In a rebuild, the draft is like your lifeblood. If you can't figure that out, like if you don't have that process straightened away, if you don't have all your ducks in a row, all your T's crossed and your I's dotted, you're going to have some problems. And we are just like limping into this. We're limping into this. And I just don't get how you allow all of this foolishness and all of this nonsense to then carry over into next season, because that's going to also impact your young guys as well, because you got a guy that has shown that he cannot help groom and mature young guys. He just can't. Not young players. He's not going to be able to get them into the building and really maximize their talents. He's not. Because we saw a lot of young guys struggle under him, especially on the defensive side. We saw Will McDonald regress for whatever reason this year. We saw various other players regress too under Glenn in this defense. We saw him not be able to put things together out there, just game management wise. So I just don't understand why I just don't understand why you would put all that on the line and pass up on guys that could give you all of that and more. The fact that you stuck with Aaron Glenn when Harbaugh's out there, like you said, there's various guys out there that you could have done whatever it took to get them into the building, and you just stood pat. You are literally cementing yourself to failure. Go ahead.
No, my bad. No, but we could have, you know, if he didn't want to have full control, full hands-on with defense, we could have got Jim Leonard. And if what I was hoping that we would have done should have been like, yeah, here's the keys to the offense, and had Mike McDaniel as our OC. Yeah. Then you can play coach if you wanted to and really not have to worry about it and then focus on other things. He did get better. I mean, but that no interception stuff is just, yeah. I mean, I did see it coming when we got Bustin Fields. I was telling you that from the get-go.
Yeah,
I already I didn't predict it was supposed to be like this, though. This is like a train crash and throw some New York City buses in the mix with it, too. It's a pretty big one. you know, like, but
this was...
And
that's another thing as well that I'm gonna bring to the, you know, I keep telling people as well when they talk about Aaron Glenn. Well, he had Justin Fields. He chose Justin Fields. He chose him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Buck guy and I didn't want Justin Fields.
Yeah, he ran.
That's what, you know, like
he did. No, and I'm gonna give you your credit where your credit is due. You absolutely from day one, Rusty was the first one. You know, I was open to it. I said, okay, you know, maybe Justin Fields can come in here and do something. And from day one, Rusty said, no. I watched him. He's not going to be good here.
He's not.
He's not.
No
things are not going to work out.
At least Stroud has a chance.
Yeah, and, you know, hey, look, we give credit where credit is due. When you get it right, we let it be known. And you got that right, absolutely. But
appreciate it. I just not happy that I did get it right, but I sort of saw that train wreck coming.
Exactly. You know? But when you look at this, it's like that's the guy that he chose. That was the quarterback that he chose to start this rebuild off with. So he doesn't get a pass for that. He gets the blame for it. You get the blame for bringing a guy in, giving him $30 million guaranteed over the next 2 years, and benching him a couple weeks into the season. You get the blame for that. It's not on anybody else. If you were going to do that, you should have just kept Aaron Rodgers here. But you were too busy trying to run him up out of here and play all these weird I'm the new sheriff in town games to sit back and allow that to play out. So it is what it is. And now we're sitting here and we're looking around, and the Jets have a stink on them right now that is insane. It's insane, Rusty. I mean, look at how, like, we're getting talked about. This is media outside of the Jets beat. Everybody looks at us as a joke. Everybody.
Well, they like doing that, which is insane. Because we're like one of the most, I think we're the third most valuable franchise in the NFL and like fifth overall in all of American sports. It's wild.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, it's because we get to, so it doesn't affect Woody to be terrible. Like, it's bad, man. Like, everybody seriously has to be like, you know what? I'm not going to games. I'm canceling my season tickets, and I'm not buying any new jerseys. Go buy everybody that's in the Ring of Honor or favorite old school Jets players and stuff like that, and sit at home with friends and family or go out to the bars or whatever and watch it there. You know? Yeah. Honestly, it's like, you know, you got to go against them.
Yeah.
But he's like, what's his name? Monty Burns from freaking The Simpsons, you know? That's Woody Johnson.
Yeah.
You know?
Just
terrible.
I'm just stunned. When you look at the Jets offensive coordinator position, Rusty, Frank Reich, Greg Roman, dude, who are you choosing between those two guys? And what do you think they bring to the table?
Coin flip. Like Frank Reich too. He was about to retire. Wasn't he the head coach? Yeah, he was the head coach of Stanford this past year or two, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he was ready to go. Like, he was like, yeah, I'm retiring, this or that, and then all of a sudden he's back in the mix. I mean, give the young kid his dues, you know? Like, that, what that other caller was saying, too, he was right, and same with you. Like, he had, like, people open all the time. It's just we didn't have the delivery there. We finally have an offense. This is the madness that we're in, man. We finally have a legit offensive line, right? We have wide receivers.
Yeah.
Granted, all of them can't catch, but at least they're better than, you know, the brick hands of certain players and everything like that. But we got out of that. We have the best special teams in the NFL, but then now we don't have a defense to where we did have a defense. We we can't have nice things, but it's like Smokey said in Friday, you know, like, y'all have Kool-Aid, no sugar. You want to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you just have jelly and no peanut butter. Like, it's just, dude, it's like,
they never got two things to match. Listen. You're talking facts. I don't understand how the Jets are in this situation when it was so clear of what needed to be done. It's so clear.
And it was set up for us, too.
Yeah, and it's set up for you, and you still find a way to mess it up. I just don't get it. And I'm listen, this offensive coordinator position, I think they'll end up going with Frank Reich. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do.
That's if Frank wants it too, man. Like,
it's been talked about that he does. I mean, he's been attached to this thing the whole time. The same thing with Greg Roman just kind of came in, you know, a name that kind of came on. There's other guys out there as well that have been talked about, but man, I don't know. At this point, I could honestly see, and you bring up a interesting point. If all these reports about Frank really being tied in with the Jets and wanting the job, if it really is just smoke and it doesn't pan, because Wink Martindale, a lot of that was going on as well, and we didn't end up with him. I could see us ending up with just a no-name kind of guy that's trying to come up, a passing game coordinator from somewhere that just wants to come in and, you know, get his his spokes about him and get in here and become an offensive coordinator. I could see us doing that. Ended up with a guy like that, a young guy that just kind of come out of nowhere. But I don't think that would be a good thing either. I just don't.
I don't either. That would be like us, and my bad for cutting you off, but I didn't mean to.
No, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Go ahead. I was going to say, like, it's not like how, like, the Washington Redskins stepped in it in a good way with McVay or whatever, and Shanahan, where they brought all these young up-and-comers. Like, we don't get that. Like, we get the worst of the worst, bottom of, like, the cesspool, you know? And the only reason why I honestly think Frank Reich would come here, and because him and Glenn they were teammates together.
Mm-hmm.
Reich was our backup quarterback when Boomer was around and for 2 years or something like that. So he was there when Aaron Glenn was a rookie, and for like a year or two with them. So they're actually close.
Mm-hmm.
But that's who I think we would. But then it's still not finalized because we're the Jets. You know, why wouldn't it be that way?
It's
soap opera of ages.
Man, it's gonna be
Kool-Aid with no sugar, Joe. That's all. You know.
Give me your thoughts on man, on Dante Moore. I want to get your thoughts on Dante Moore going back to school. A lot of people, think he did that to avoid the Jets. Where do you think?
I'm happy.
What do you think is? I'm not sold. I wasn't sold on him either. And to be honest, I'm not that sold on Mendoza either. I'm not like really big on this quarterback class, but I want to get your thoughts on just kind of touch on a little bit on what you think the Jets could possibly end up doing now that Moore is out of the picture.
Well, I hope we don't do quarterback in the first or second rounds. If anything, and this might sound crazy, I hope we get Sonny Styles at 2.
Yes.
No one's going to trade with us
not
at
2.
Dude, Sonny Styles is my dog, bro. That guy,
but not at
lights
2.
out.
I
would,
go ahead. I'll
just
let you finish.
because of this reason. My bad.
No, go ahead. I want to hear your take. Go ahead.
I think he's generational linebacker because he can do linebacker, he could do some safety work, and he can do some edge work. He's almost like a hybrid Mo Lewis, if you will. Mm-hmm. And Mo Lewis is pretty good. People just dog him because he did his job, knocked out Drew Bledsoe, and then all of a sudden Shady Brady came around. But because no one's going to bite at 2 to trade up since there's no quarterbacks, and no one's going to trade up for Reese or Bain. Maybe the Cleveland Steamers, but I don't know. They do some silly things. Mm-hmm. It stinks because I wish that we could get Cornell Tate too, but that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then trade out of 16, go back into the first, like the 24th or something, grab somebody else, and then out of that trading back from 16, grab like a high second round or high third, and just keep on doing it like that. And I don't know, like in the third, grab like a Nussmeier or something like that. Kid was injured all year. Maybe take it on that. If he lasts to the fourth, grab that. But we need a left guard. We need a center. We need safety, linebackers, defensive tackles, and defensive edges. But in me, I think a must is Sonny Styles.
Yeah. So
he's
left. You brought up left guard. I think that there's a chance Vera Tucker comes back on an incentive-laden contract.
Put him in his natural position, man.
Yeah, I think he. But we'll see. But I can see your perspective there. But quickly, Sonny Styles. That's one of the guys that I want to see the Jets grab for all the reasons that you brought up, and he's also and you brought up how he could linebacker, safety. But for me, that situational pass rush. Justin, I'm coming to you next. Situational pass rush, I think, is going to be huge, especially with the Jets.
And that's him.
So many questions. And
that's Sonny Styles, man. He missed one tackle all season.
Yes. Not only that, but because the Jets have 2, I want to see them trade down from 2. And we're going to be talking about this. We're going to do more. We're going to do a ton of shows as we continue on through the process, through the draft. But another guy I want to see, Mekhi Lemon from USC. You want to talk
Not
about
a fan.
You.
I know you are.
Not. Of course not.
But
fight on. Listen.
Well, Cornell Tate is greater than a lemon.
No.
Yeah, let's keep it 100.
He's good. But listen, a guy. I'm just because the way I look at it, the Jets trade down. We're in that mid. You know those mid teens. I think those guys will be there, and I like those two guys. Put another guy on the side of Garrett Wilson and get us an edge rusher. I think it goes a long way. Along with us grabbing more draft capital. So, but we'll talk about that more. I just wanted to pick your brain and just get a tidbit early. Give me your thoughts on the Super Bowl score prediction. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up quickly, Rusty?
I hate this because whatever I say, it's always the opposite, and I don't want the Patriots to win at all. Like, I hope the Seahawks win, and I hope the Seahawks beat the bricks off them, like, I don't know, like 33-9 or something like that, and just show the fraud that New England truly is with the weakest schedule that they snuck into the playoffs in, and then playing backup quarterbacks, and I don't buy them. But the NFL has their way because the Chiefs are obviously out of it. So runner-up, Patriots are the NFL darlings.
Okay.
Like,
so what is the score?
So I'm hoping for the Seahawks. And it wasn't our fault that Sam got traded. Remember, he was seeing ghosts. He wasn't good for us, and we weren't good for him. Same thing with Carolina.
We weren't good for him. We destroyed. We set him up for failure. I
mean, Carolina had an offensive line. Carolina had Reich too.
That's true.
Brought him.
That's true. Listen, he went to Carolina and they got rid of him too.
I'm passing the buck, dude.
Yeah.
He needed Shanahan. Shanahan did whatever.
Yep.
Went in there with his puppet master stuff, tweaked his brain, sent him off to the Vikings. The Vikings were the ones that failed him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, God bless him. At least he's on the other coast and in the NFC.
So what is
we don't have to see him too much? But
what is your final score before I let you go? Just to give me the final score.
Hopefully, it's 33-9 Seahawks.
33-9 Seahawks. All right. Listen, Rusty.
I hope.
I gotta slide off. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right.
You got it, fam.
All right. You have a good one.
Joe, and salute to fellow savages.
That's what I'm talking about. Listen, Justin, we are coming to you next. I'm hoping I can get Justin on the line. Hoping I can get Justin on the line here. Listen, man, this is crazy times. Hold on a second, Justin. Hold on a second. Justin, are you on the line? I got you.
Yep.
Justin, listen. Salutes to Justin. He's a savage. I apologize for missing your call a little earlier, Justin. A lot of things moving around here. We got a lot of things going on. Listen, let's get right into it. I've been arguing left and right with people. I say that Aaron Glenn should be fired. He should have been fired at the end of the season, not happening, and I think it's going to hurt the New York Jets. The Jets coaching searches all over the place, man. What are your thoughts about everything you're seeing going on?
I mean, it is. I mean, to be honest, I don't even want to talk about it because all this fan base is crying over spilt milk. The guy's here. I mean, the more you think about it, the more the guy shouldn't be here. But I mean, the timing of this firing of 10 extras is baffling to me. But I mean, it is what it is. The guy's here, so let's stop crying over spilt milk. Let's see how we can improve this team, and it is what it is.
Well,
I don't think it's find the offensive coordinator, and it's whatever. I mean,
I don't think it's about crying over spilled milk
the whole time, or are we going to just support the guy? It's done. He's here, and that's it. Let's move forward. I'm sick of talking about, is Aaron Glenn? We got more important things to talk about.
What's more important than a head coach that's failing you?
4 picks in the first 44 to improve the roster.
And none of those guys will be successful if he's the head coach, if he continues on the path that we've seen.
I mean, come on.
None of them will.
None of these guys are going to be successful. I mean,
not if you have a bad head coach.
I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know about that one, but
you don't.
Right, it's fair,
okay, Justin, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? How many times have we seen us start a rebuild? Let's go to Todd Bowles. How many guys were super successful under him out of all the picks that we had? Not a lot of them, right?
No.
Why do you think that was?
Yeah, because the coaching. But, I mean, what are you going to do? The guy's here
Hello.
and that's it. Well, I mean, what are you going to do? The guy's here and that's it. It is what it is. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, we're going to cry over it for 16 months at a time. I mean, it's what it is. He's here and that's it. We've got to hope for the best now.
Okay. So what are your thoughts about the Jets' open offensive coordinator position? What are your thoughts about Ingstrand? You talked about Ingstrand getting fired. How do you feel about Frank Reich, Greg Roman? Who do you think ends up getting the job?
I'm gonna just be honest. I mean, point blank, period. I mean, the guy should have been. If the guy was going to be fired, which extra was not the problem last year. It was that bum of a quarterback. Well, we had a lot of those, but we should have never paid Justin Fields. I said it all along with this fan base. I argue with people for days. Oh, we should have gave him $30 million contract. No, we should have never gave the guy essentially a 2-year deal with $30 million guarantee. So that's the first things first. And then we had Cook. Cook was, you can make the argument the guy was even worse. I mean, the guy should have never started. Hendon Hooker should have got a chance at the end of the season. It's baffling what this team does. And, I mean, you could see if you watch the All-22 or just open your eyes, you could see that Extra was drawing guys open, point blank, period. It didn't matter who the quarterback was. So Extra being gone, it is what it is. He's canned. So, I mean, these candidates, they don't excite me. I mean, Frank Reich, the guy was going to retire. I mean, okay, cool, whatever. Greg Roman, okay, whatever. I like kind of Greg Roman a little bit because at least he can get the run game going a little bit. But, I mean, did he excite me? Point blank, period? No, I'll be honest. I mean, it is what it is. We got to see what it's going to be like. I mean, I don't know. The names don't really excite me. I'll just be honest.
Yeah, I mean, don't really excite me either.
Bevel? I mean, come on.
Yeah, Bevel, he's out there as well. I mean, the names aren't exciting, but it is what it is. When you look at the New York Jets and where we're at, right, as a franchise, right now we're looked at as a destination that people aren't interested in coming to unless they're just trying to get their foot in the door, or unless this is kind of like the last stop and turn things around. And I think a huge part of that is Woody Johnson and his impact of always wanting to be involved in football operations. I think this whole issue that we've seen here, from guys getting fired like Ingstrand, getting fired so late, a lot of those guys and the assistants, staff getting, basically getting blown out, a lot of assistants getting fired and stuff. I think a lot of that stuff came from Woody Johnson. I think Woody Johnson, and this is my personal opinion, I think Woody Johnson told Aaron Glenn, hey, you get these guys out of here, I'm going to get you up out of here. Or he just walked in and said, we're firing these guys, and that's it. Go ahead.
Or they point blank don't want to work with Aaron Glenn, or they just don't want to be here, point blank. I don't know if I agree with that Woody Johnson point. What if Tanner Extra? Obviously, they've been saying this for weeks that he doesn't want to. That they're going back and forth about him calling plays. What if Extra just said, no, I don't want to work with Frank Reich, period. I'm out. I can get a better job elsewhere, which clearly he can get a coordinator job, pass game, run game coordinator, whatever, with Atlanta. So what if I don't agree with you saying or whoever saying, oh, it's Woody Johnson. What if point blank period he was like, I'm not working with Frank Reich. I can get a better job elsewhere, and just left and said, no, I'm done. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that could have been why Ingstrand got fired, but initially, why was he even put in that position, period? Why did they wait until 3 weeks after everybody else was hired up that could have come in and been the Jets offensive coordinator off the bat? Why did they wait to then mess with his position and say that he wasn't going to be calling play? Why was his play calling responsibilities and duties taken away? Why was his position all of a sudden up in the air and to be determined? So that came from somewhere. Know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I believe it's my opinion that Woody Johnson said, hey, look, some of these guys are going to have to go. Fire this guy, fire that guy, and fire that guy.
I don't think it's Woody. I don't necessarily agree with that, because why would they fire the assistant coordinator, the offensive? They fired assistant coaches, and then 3 days later, extras came out. So if they had been talking to Reich for weeks, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. It was Woody Johnson, because why would you fire coaches and then 3 days later come out and say, "Oh, Tanner's gone too"?
Why would you wait?
I don't know if I necessarily
if it's not,
agree with
listen, and again, this is my opinion. But if it's not Woody Johnson, why do you wait so long? Why?
Because he didn't want to work with Frank Reich.
No,
they
why?
Wanted to combo,
listen,
they wanted to
but
combo
that would
them
have already,
together, and he
Justin,
didn't want to do it.
That would have already have been in the pipeline. That
No,
means
not
that
necessarily.
hold on.
He's not-
He would have told Tanner Engstrand at the end of the season, listen, somehow secretly, it never leaked or whatever. Listen, I'm taking your play calling duties. I'm doing A, B, C, and D. Right? If it was a big deal 3 days ago, it was a big deal to him at the end of the season. If that's what happened, I don't think that's what happened.
Why would
that
it
doesn't
have
make
leaked,
any
though?
sense.
Because why would it have leaked? Nothing else has. The candidates for the offensive coordinator, they're 8. That didn't leak.
Justin, there's been a lot of things that's leaked this year. There's been a lot of things that have leaked this year, Justin. A lot of things that have leaked this year.
I'm talking about strictly the offensive coordinator being interviewed. You're telling me that they should just let him go at the end of the season, but maybe that wasn't in the works at first. Then as the meeting started to progress, which we know how that works, you meet the Senior Bowl, blah, blah, blah. You meet with the whole staff.
The Senior Bowl hasn't even happened.
As the meetings progress, maybe that wasn't the initial plan.
The Senior Bowl hasn't. First off, the Senior Bowl hasn't happened. You're confusing the situation.
The Senior Bowl, the Senior Bowl. What are you talking about?
Hold on.
The Senior Bowl was this week.
Hold on. Here's the deal. What I'm telling you is that Tanner Engstrand, right? If his play calling duties were stripped at the end of the year and Aaron Glenn told him, hey, look, I'm stripping your play calling duties and all these other things, that would have came out then because it came out now. He would have had a problem with it then. He would have known that my position is not concrete as the Jets offensive coordinator then. That's why it came out. And they ended up moving on from him because guess what? It is what it is. Guys are coming in. He does not want that. You saw he immediately got a job after that. He's with the Falcons right now.
That wasn't the initial plan. The initial plan. Things changed clearly.
Then there could have been no other plan, Justin. He's the offensive coordinator. He's the offensive coordinator.
They wanted to
if
keep
you're
him
bringing
around
in
a
Frank
different
Reich,
role.
what else are you doing? If you're bringing in Frank Reich,
they wanted to keep him around in a different role.
Exactly, which is exactly what was reported, and that's what I just told you. That's exactly what was reported. If you're bringing in Frank Reich and you still have Tanner Engstrand, who's the offensive coordinator on the staff, that means you're changing his role. Which is mean what? You're stripping him of his play calling. This is the same thing we did to Nathaniel Hackett. It's the same thing.
No, don't
like you're trying
Hackett
to conflagrate this. It's not that hard to understand. Now, again, that is my opinion that Woody Johnson came to Aaron Glenn and said, listen, get rid of some of these guys. But that is the thing that makes sense because otherwise that means that Aaron Glenn knew what was going on and just sat on it for 3 weeks and didn't do anything and let all these offensive minds get signed up. That doesn't make any sense either, especially when you're the guy.
Well, how do you
especially,
know?
Hold on. Especially when you're the guy that's on the hot seat. Because if you don't find the right offensive coordinator, you're going to be gone.
What offensive guys were coming here? We got to be realistic sometimes in this fan base. I mean, what offensive guys were coming here? Like what?
You at least give yourself a chance to get some guy that's going to come in here instead of just leaning on Frank Reich and Greg Roman. Why would you not take the chance to go out and look at other offensive guys to come in here? And if that is what you're talking about, Justin, what guy's going to come in here? Why are you getting rid of Tanner Engstrand then? You might as well just keep him if nobody else is going to come in here.
Yeah, I agree.
Which again lends credit to my argument of what I just told you. But let's continue to move on. Listen, at the end of the day, we're looking at this situation, and I'm saying to myself, what are the Jets going to do when it comes to the draft? And I just want to pick your brain a little bit, okay?
Yes, because that's the main reason.
Hold on.
Yes, let's go.
You look at the draft, Dante Moore back to school. A lot of people say he'd avoid the Jets. Okay, he did it to avoid the Jets. I'm not saying he did.
First off, that's
he
went
BS. Back.
We got a guy. that's not even true.
Okay, I'm not saying he did.
That's being pushed by. Oh, the Jets were not going to pass on Dante Moore. That was total BS.
Okay,
I did not believe a thing. First off, I was not sold on the guy. The bowl game, was not a fan of him regardless.
Okay,
so
listen.
I don't care about him.
Listen, at the end of the day, he's gone. You look at the Jets, they got some picks. What do you think they do now? Where do you think they go with their first pick in the first round?
I mean, I've been telling people for 6 months, this fan base did not want to hear it. The Jets are not drafting. Oh, we got to draft a rookie quarterback. We got to draft a rookie quarterback. That's all this fan base ever wants to talk about. It's really this simple. We have BPA, 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 BPA. Stop getting so sold on this Sonny Styles crap at 2. No. The highlight right now at number 2, Aaron Glenn. See, another thing people need to realize, Aaron Glenn, he wants a guy that can stop the run. Hello. What premium position do you pick in the top 5 picks? Hello, pass rusher, left tackle, quarterback. It's really that simple. Ruben Bain. There's no one I want other than Ruben Bain at 2. Point blank period. Don't care. Don't overthink it. I don't care if he hasn't participated this week in the Senior Bowl. I don't care about the blah, blah, blah. His arms are too short. You can miss me with that nonsense. The guy stops the run. He's a pure pass rusher. Ruben Bain should be the pick at 2. There's no other pick that it should be, period.
Okay. Before I let you go, Justin, give me your Super Bowl prediction. Seahawks, Patriots. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? What is your score prediction?
Can we do a tie? LOL. No, I don't care. Seahawks. I mean, can we stop crying over Sam Darnold, please? I mean, come on. Tie game.
Justin calling in with his takes. I don't agree. Everyone, listen. If you don't like the fact that Aaron Glenn is still the Jets head coach, you have a right to say that. You have the right. It's mind-blowing. Salutes to all the savages in the building, man. Edward salutes. He says, definitely interior line can't stay healthy enough. Yeah, we gotta attack that as well. Edward says, go Sam. I wasn't sure. I wasn't going to with the Jets. Yeah, he wasn't going anywhere with the Jets fast. Edward also says, I'll take either. Both are similar. Frank would be better. Ooh, okay. So he's going with Frank Wright. He says, ain't too much to choose from. That's going to make a difference. Yeah. Edwards also goes on to say that Woody is a pain. It's such a pain. Yeah. I'm telling you. It's gonna be interesting going forward. I'm really looking to see who they end up grabbing with that. Who ends up grabbing that offensive coordinator position? I cannot wait to see. I'm hoping that it ends up being Frank Wright or Roman, but there's a chance that it's gonna be a young guy that is just trying to get his foot in the door. But we'll see. The Jets are on a really, really rough path, and I'm hoping that things are not going to be as bad as a lot of people are saying. I really am, but we'll see. Listen, this has been a phenomenal show, folks. This has been phenomenal. What a show! Okay, going back and forth with so many people. All right, so many. I absolutely love this. All right, but now we're gonna close it out because your boy got to go. Listen. I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Okay? I do. I truly do. All right? Listen, I'm also on Twitter as well. Going over to Twitter, type in @The Long Beach Joe. The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. Follow me. I'll follow you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks, and I love to troll. I am the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times, okay? At all times. Listen, man. Listen, at all times, okay? I'm hoping that they can keep Vera Tucker, and I'm hoping, that they can work out a deal. So we'll see. All right, we'll see. But an incentive-laden deal, I think we'll do some good here. All right. But we will see. All right. So come on by, and I'm gonna be trolling. I'm also on YouTube as well. Okay. Listen, come on over to YouTube. Okay. Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. All right. Hit that all when you hit that notification bell so you will get my content. All right. And please, hit those comments. Troll me in those comments. Let's go back and forth, and I'll troll you right back as well. And as always, people, when you see me in person, because you will see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. free hugs for everyone. I want to thank you folks for watching. I want to thank you folks for listening. Okay, the hugs will always remain free. Thank you folks for getting involved, because without you people, I'm absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the times out of your day to listen and be a part of the show. All right. So until the next show, you folks have a good one. Peace. Hold on. Pow. We're back. Listen, I want to thank everybody, okay? Phenomenal show. I know I've been missing for a little bit. All right. Living a stupendous life. All right. And I hope everybody else is enjoying themselves and living a great life as well. We're going to get shows. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a show next week. I'll let you guys know. It's probably going to be on Friday. But I'll let y'all know for sure. So please get involved. Please subscribe. All right. And get involved with everything that I'm doing. My link tree is in the description of the video. Okay. Please hit that link tree. That link tree links to all of my social media content, links to all of my everything. Okay. All of my social media, YouTube channels, all that stuff. Get involved with all of that stuff. Okay. Subscribe to my other YouTube channels, and please follow me across my social media platforms. And I want to thank everybody that does that. I really, really appreciate y'all. Again, we do this show year round. Okay. We do this show year round, and we have a blast. I take callers. The way that we call in may change, but as of right now, this is the way that we're doing it. This is the way I have to do it. So, call in. I take callers from everywhere. If I miss your call, I will come back to you. Okay. I will come back to you. So, I want to thank you folks, man. I want to thank you folks for calling in. Excuse me. Just keep in mind when you call in, make sure you have a good phone, good connection, and be ready to go. I'm a guy that listens to everybody's point of view. I don't care, where you're calling in from. What are your thoughts? I want to hear from you. Now, keep in mind, as y'all heard tonight, I don't like to argue. People like to argue with me, but I love having that respectful, passionate debate. Okay. The only thing I do not allow on my show is cursing. Don't call into my show cursing. Okay. Y'all saw it tonight. I had to warn somebody. Don't do that. Okay. If it's bad enough, I'll get you out of here. Don't do that. I will hang up on you. But because this is a family show, I got young people that listen, old people that listen. It's a family show. Okay. Watch it. And I love YouTube. YouTube don't like that. And I love YouTube. So I have to respect them. All right. Now, keep in mind, when you call in, make sure you have a good phone line. I need to be able to hear you. If I can hear you, you can hear me. The audience can hear you as well. We're good to go. Let's go. Okay. Let's have that great discussion. But if you call in, you got a bad phone line, I can't hear you, I'll move on from you. Okay. I'll move on. If you got a lot of background noise, something crazy going on, I'll move on as well. And again, if I miss your call, I will call back. Okay. I will call back. So, man, great show. Great stuff. Again, we'll be having a show next week. I'll let y'all know, man. Really, really enjoy interacting with y'all. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. Edward Stewart salutes. Mike, I see you in the building. Salutes. Good to see you in the building as well. Oscar salutes. Good to see you in the building as well. Salutes to everybody, man. Bird salutes. Good to see you in the building. Shonen salutes. Good to see you in the building. Gabriel salutes. Good to see you in the building. Rusty salutes, man. Salutes to everybody. Danger salutes. Everybody that comes in. Todd, Luna, Venom, everybody that drops on by, man, and said what's up to your boy. Salutes and respect to every last one of you, okay? Also on this channel, we do game from time to time. So, if you come in here and you see your boy playing Street Fighter or something else, get involved. You know what I'm saying? Join on in, and we sit here and talk about, life or whatever is going on outside the Jets. Sometimes we still sitting here and talk about the Jets with that stuff going on. So, yeah, man, just we have a lot of fun over here. We also watch the game live together as well. So, during the season when my schedule allows, we'll watch the game live together, and we will, definitely commentate on the game. And then after, we have a live radio show like we have now, and those shows are hot. Okay, those shows be fire. All right. Now keep in mind, do not call in. Don't call in cursing. Excuse me. Don't call in cursing after the games. Okay, but definitely call in and have a great time. We have back and forth discussion on that as well, and I just hear everybody out because last year there was some hot shows after a lot of those losses. Okay, and people were upset. All right. So, yeah, we have a really good time. So please get involved with everything we do and everything I do over here. And please subscribe. Salutes to everybody. Edward says, thanks, Joe. Always a pleasure. Salutes, man. And again, I want to thank everybody. Salutes to Edward. Thank you for joining. And I thank everybody else for joining me. So I'm going to get on out of here, folks, because my schedule is wild and I got to go. Listen, folks, be safe. Okay, be safe. Listen, there's a lot of things going on around here, people. Okay, be safe. Get right with God and be safe, y'all. Okay, be safe, y'all. Seriously. Because let me tell you something. I don't know why some of the stuff is going on around here that's going on, but it's going on. All right. I want you to be safe and sit down with your friends and your family, eat some good food, have some good meals, and, let the people that you love know that you love them. It's important. All right. It's important to me in my life, and I hope it's important to you in yours, because you never know. You never know what could happen. All right. So until the next show, you folks have a good one.